Hi, I'm John. Welcome to 4C Farms. Today we got to do some work on my old tractor here. She's pumping engine oil into the transmission at an alarming rate. Now the only way this thing can do this is with the hydraulic pumps that are mounted on the timing cover of the engine. Let me show you. See what happens, it's got these two pumps. One of them's for the hydraulics, one of them's for the power steering. And they suck oil out of the transmission back here and pump it through all the hydraulics on the tractor. Now, inside this timing case, engine oil circulates around, and these pumps run off of a gear inside this case. And what's happened, that's the only thing that could happen to cause the issue, is the shaft seals in one of these two pumps is bad, and the pump is sucking motor oil out of the engine. What it's been doing is it's been sucking probably a good quart per hour of engine oil and putting it in the transmission. And if you just keep topping up the engine oil, what happens is the oil in the transmission and final drive finally gets so full that it starts running out of the input shaft seal in the transmission and leaking out of the weep hole in the bell housing onto the ground. And it's even gone as far as to burble up a little bit out of the gear shift and the PTO shifter and making a mess on the top. The other day I had to drain about 2 gallons of oil out of the transmission just so I could continue using this tractor until I got ready to make this repair. So I got seal kits for these pumps. So we're going to try to take these things off probably one at a time if possible and reseal and put them back on, and that should take care of the issue. And while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and change the engine oil and change out the transmission fluid since it's full of motor oil. And it's still going to have some in it because all these lines and such aren't going to drain, but in the near future I need to replace the power takeoff shaft on the back of this thing, which means I'll have to drain the transmission fluid again. And by the time I change it twice, it ought to be clean enough. Everything will be all right. So that's the rundown of what we've got going. Let's get to work. Let me get some rags. I know this is going to make a mess. Awesome. Oh yeah, isn't that beautiful? Well, course not. I get a socket. Yeah. Let's go. Book. There we go. We just needed a little bitty bit of help. All right. There's the pump. Oop. Well, I've run into a little snag. I've got a service manual for this, and it shows that this pump on the shaft ought to have two seals turned facing each other. One to keep hydraulic oil in, the other to keep motor oil out, and have this washer in between them. Well, I don't have room for that in this pump, and that's not what came out of it. What came out of it was a little single lip seal with a washer behind it. Of course, that seal's just wore smooth out. Now, the kit came with this double lip seal that by itself is the same thickness as the single lip seal and the washer. So I'm thinking that this is an updated seal to fix a problem that I'm having with this pump. So I need to leave the washer out and just drive this seal in. Hopefully that is the issue. Hopefully that's how it goes. No instructions with updated parts. You gotta love that. All right, I got the hydraulic pump back on. The suction pipe down here, I don't know if you can see it down here, it gave me a lot of trouble. I couldn't get the bolts to line up well enough to get them to start, so I ended up having to take the suction off the other side and this whole suction pipe loose all the way to where it goes in the bottom of the final drive, which isn't any big deal. I was going to drain all that fluid anyways because it's nasty, like 1540 motor oil, and that's not what it should be. Once I got this pipe loose, I managed to get the bolts to start. Everything's fine. That tightened up good. So now we'll get this power steering pump off right quick, and then we'll go through it. All right, I had to partially disassemble this thing to get it off. I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna put it back on when I get there. So anyways, moving right along, we can get this thing took apart, fixed up, and back on. Or we'll have to figure out how to put it back on. There's that. Right here. That not supposed to be laying down there loose. That little, it was. That little clip is supposed to be on there like that. Snap ring out while I'm here. Goodness. There we go. All right. Nasty. Ow! Okay. little seal and backup ring is kind of a chore to get in there. Nope, that's backwards. Now we got to do this again. Goes this way. Do it like that. We need to put a little lube in that. We can do it at the end, I guess. There goes the spacer. You gotta see where it stops. Goes the other seal. Alright. Now see, here's how this one was made. You got the lip seal one way, and then another lip seal the other way, put together. And that's how it was put together on this one. Remember, the other one just ended up getting this one double lip seal. So I don't know if one of these pumps has been replaced at some point or not. But looking at these seals, this pump was not the problem. Could have left it alone. Alright, so this seal goes this way. Gently tap it down. And then there's my spacer. And then this seal goes this way. Pretty sure. Yippers. Let's see if we can get that snap ring in there. That way we have something good and firm to tap instead of that edge of that seal. I don't like it. I don't like doing it that way. You could hear the tone change when it started banging on the table. You know you're there all the way. All right. Ooh, not all right. O-ring and backup ring, seal ring. Finish cleaning up that gasket off of there once I get it all back together. The rest of these nuts. Those new O-rings in there are so tight, it makes this harder to turn. Oh yeah, we're good. I just want to make sure that it'll act right before I go through the trouble to button it up. So we're not going to argue with that. Ta-da! Alright, let's test fit it and make sure it's going to line up half decent. Yeah, somewhere right in there. And that thing just does not want to be nice. Yeah, I gotta try to get some of the oil out of that cavity. Little cavity inside this housing that holds oil, and it's level full, so I keep cleaning off my gasket surface and it keeps getting a run of oil down it. Let's roll with that. Yeah, sure, that's the same with this. That. I gotta have that little washer lineup spacer dude hunky. Goopy goo. Because I don't have gaskets. Somebody somehow managed to leave the lid off the goopy goo. Silicone. There we go. It wouldn't have been all that big a loss. I got a new tube. It don't take a whole lot of silicone. Alright. Let's wipe the bolt off. Or better. Now the really fun one. Where's my 1/4-inch ratchet? Right there. Alright, she's on there. I'm gonna clean all these lines up and new O-rings on them. Get all this put back together. We'll fill it up with oil and see what we get. Well, we got about 4 gallons of oil in the transmission, final drive. Changed the engine oil, new filter. I guess we're ready to fire this thing up, make sure it doesn't spray oil everywhere. See what happens. Neutral. Well, I'll tell you what. It's a bad idea to start a tractor from the ground. everything works. Well, that's all there is to that. For $40 worth of seals, we rebuild those pumps and hopefully keep engine oil where it's supposed to be, you know, in the engine, not in the transmission. That'll be it for this video. I guess I'm gonna pump a little grease into this thing and get it out of my shop. Maybe clean the floor because it's a mess. Everything was full of oil. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It sure helps a lot.